Hello guys, and welcome here to the Jello Cup Series Blue-Green Vacation Duels here today from the Daytona International Raceway. Today we will set, today for Duel 1 we will set the inside line for the Daytona 500. One thing's for sure though, Charles Sanford will start on the pole, and let's add another thing to be sure as well. Samet Ozkan will be locked in. So, of course, two knowns coming in today. One thing that's unknown, who else will join Samet Ozkan in the field? Of course, we know in this duel, we will have Casey Naneko, Eric Faden, Dave James, Dick Clark, Nikolai Sykes, Scott Upton, and Maximus King all battling to make the field for the Daytona 500. And of course, Dave James, Eric Faden, two one-race contract drivers trying to get in. Of course, you know, the pressure is on for them. And then the other thing that's an unknown right now, will Scott Upton have to use his first provisional of the season? Because keep in mind, Scott Upton's going to be racing no matter what. But of course, if he does not get in, whoever those final two transfers are, meaning the last transfer in Duel 1 and the last transfer in Duel 2, the fastest of those lap times in qualifying will determine which one of those two makes it forward. So, something these guys need to keep in mind as we go through these duels. Of course, all these guys are going to want Scott Upton to race his way in. And of course, if not, you're going to want to get points, because keep in mind the top 10, not the top 5 this season, but the top 10 in this duel get points toward the championship. So everybody's going to want to add to their points totals, and we'll see if they can do just that today. Anyway, let's get going. We'll be right back in just a moment with your starting lineup here on GCN. Here we go. We're ready to go racing. Let's take a look at the starting lineup on the left-hand side of your screen. One thing you'll note, of course, a change from the Clash. We've made it so it's a little bit easier to view. And also, the guys in yellow are the guys who have to race their way in. The guys in green are the drivers that are locked in to the 500, and there's only one thus far. And also, another note, Skylar Martins had to go to the rear of the field. Due to an engine change, he will not have to do so for the 500, assuming nothing else happens to him in this duel or practice tomorrow. The pace car will peel off. Charles Sanford, Dylan Young. The NSRL guys will lead us to the green. NRSL guys will lead us to the green. We're underway at Daytona. And right away, you see the 03 get ahead of the 2. Of course, the big question in this duel is going to be, you know, how will these guys work together? Of course, there's a whole mess of them at the back of the field trying to make the Daytona 500. So, how will they battle it out? Will be the big question. See Scott Upton at the back of the pack. This is not looking good for him to start, as Charles Sanford will lead the opening lap. Here comes Tyler Rattray. Now here comes Lenny Florentine in the number 8 with help from his teammate, Nathan Faden rather. Eric Faden is coming up through the pack right now. Him and I believe Dave James would hold the 2 transfer positions. But of course, you got to hold on loosely with those because of the 99 being at the back of this pack. And with that 99 at the back of this pack, that first transfer spot is going to be the so much more important one here. As you see, Lenny Florentine looking for the race lead on Charles Sanford. So right now, Eric Faden would transfer based on his position. And of course, Scott Upton would be in waiting in duel number 2. To figure out, that means, Dave James would be in waiting to see what would happen. And Lenny Florentine will lead the lap. Here it comes Nathan Faden. Of course, the nickname Cardiac Faden after last season's championship run. Here comes the 17 now of Casey Horton to try to lead a lap. And she will likely get the lead here with help from Eric Faden. She didn't get it this time, but she will in turns 1 and 2. And look at this whole inside line. That is all your knockout qualifying drivers. Now you see Scott Upton get to the bottom. Maybe he's going to make a charge to the front. Maybe this was all planned, that he was going to hang out at the back for the first few laps, see what he's got, and then work his way to the front. But all these go-or-go-home-in-one race contract drivers on the inside line trying to make something happen. They know right now Eric Faden is the guaranteed transfer. And it might not be for long. Here comes Dave James. And keep in mind, Dave James has never made a points-paying race. He's only attempted the 500 last season. He missed it. He missed the show last Daytona 500. He has not made the All-Star race. He's attempted 2 of them in the showdown and failed to advance. He would sure love to get an advance on his resume. Of course, again, he was going to run that 4th car for Western New York Autosport here, but unfortunately the ride was given to Brian James as they are promoting their podcast over on Tinkle Sports. Nathan Faden to the lead once again, by the way. Dave James, of course, is in the transfer position. As we come to 5 laps of racing to go. See the 99's back there. Boy, if Dave James can advance, he's not just going to be advancing. He's going to be starting at the front. This would be huge for that Beard Motorsports team, who of course attempted with Brad Stover last season. They did not advance to the 500. Dick Clark is back here too, and keep in mind Dick Clark, the former Championship 4 driver from last season. Four laps of racing to go. I don't know if Scott Upton's going to get there. He just doesn't have the time in his favor. And the fact that that inside lane is just so established really doesn't help him out either. So this may very well be a race for the first transfer spot. And that means those drivers in Duel 2 are going to have to worry if they can advance or not. Three laps of racing to go. Dave James in second. He looks to be in good shape to advance to his first 500, but of course he's going to have to hold off Dick Clark another lap or two. '99's making up a little ground back there, but I don't know if it's enough. See the 6 Michael Collins trailing quite a bit behind. Maybe just saying, I don't want to be involved in this. It's not worth the points. 2 laps of racing to go. Can Dave James hang on? Because if he can, it's going to put the pressure on Dick Clark in this next duel. Yeah, I don't think, unless we get a restart, I don't think Scott Upton's going to get there. Which means the past champ is going to have to rely on a provisional to open up the season. We're going to get to the white flag this time. It's going to be 1 lap of racing to go, presented by Mitchell's Memes. Dave James looks to be in great shape, but has Dick Clark been holding back for a few laps, trying not to push the issue? That, of course, is the real question. And Dave James, could he force the issue with the 3? Doesn't look like anybody's really going to force the issue. You see Nikolai Sykes trying to work that outside. Maybe he can get around Dick Clark and really force the issue for the 500. Out of turn number 4. To the inside goes Dick Clark. Can he get there? No. Nathan Faden's going to win. Dave James is going to advance to his first Daytona 500. And Scott Upton is going to be in waiting. Or Scott Upton is in on the provisional, rather. Nikolai Sykes almost got there, but he gets points out of this. Unfortunately, he will not make the Daytona 500, so the 19 will DNQ. The 23 of Dick Clark is going to be in waiting. Let's take a look at your results. Of course, Nathan Faden, the winner. Casey Horton, second. Dave James advances to the 500. He is third. Dick Clark in waiting. He's in fourth. Nikolai Sykes, fifth. Skylar Martin, sixth. Lenny Florentine, seventh. Max Anderson, eighth. Maximus King, another DNQ. He is going to finish in ninth. And Samet Ozkan will round out your top 10. And as you look on down the list, Casey Naneko. Casey Naneko. Eric Faden also failed to advance, amongst others. Tough break. Scott Upton is in, though, on the provisional. We just don't know if he'll be replacing Dick Clark or the second transfer for the Daytona 500 in duel number 2. We'll be right back with duel number 2 here on GCN in just a moment. Welcome back on GCN to duel number 2 here from Daytona. I'm Brian James. Welcome back. Simon Davis will start on the pole for duel number 2, and this, of course, will determine the outside lane for the Daytona 500. The 24 of Nate Rattray will make up the outside of row 1. So, of course, Dick Clark, Dave James technically advanced. Dave James will for sure race in the Daytona 500. Dick Clark is in waiting because Scott Upton did not advance to the 500 on transfer spot or race pace, so he will have to use a provisional because he is the past champion. So Dick Clark basically is waiting on whoever takes the second transfer spot in this race here. So of course, if anybody takes the second transfer spot in this race, it'll come down to lap time. So for Dick Clark, he cannot afford to have Bennett or Kayumi, the 53 or the 52, finish in that second transfer position. If they do, Dick Clark will go home. Daniel Guerrero, Joey Trickle, Roberto Crown, Mitchell Collins, they got to do a lot of aggressive racing here because they have to be the first transfer car into the 5, or they have to be in the first transfer spot of all the go or go homers in the session, or else they will fail to qualify and Dick Clark will advance to the 500. I know, a little confusing. We'll break it down for you later. But anyway, let's get going here. We'll be right back in just a moment with your starting lineup, and then we'll take you to the green flag here on GCN. Alright, welcome back. The starting lineup, it'll be on the left-hand side of your screen once again. The drivers in green are locked in. They have nothing to worry about in this duel. The drivers in red, the drivers in yellow, rather, have to race their way in. Again, most of them will be battling for that first transfer spot, which makes it a very intriguing race because, again, two of the Rick Ware cars, the 52 and the 53, they can make it in on that second transfer spot. Okay, Mitchell Collins, Joey Trickle, Daniel Guerrero, and others can't. But anyway, here we go. Simon Davis, Nate Rattray, green flag is out. Duel number 2 is underway. '43 got a good launch, but the 24 had a nice push from Zach Fitzwater. Now the 24 down the backstretch, trying everything he can to get the lead, and I think he's going to do so. So Nate Rattray to the race lead. The two Aussies working together with help from that Beaver Don car of Tim Horton. Of course, we know Tim Horton is in the 500. Not only are a lot of these guys battling for that first transfer spot, they're also battling for a top 10 because they can get points by finishing in the top 10 in this duel, much like those drivers did in the first one. Here goes Fitzwater. He's got no help behind. Now he does. And Zach Fitzwater to the race lead. Here comes the 07 of Tim Horton. And he's going to get blocked by the 4. Not for long, though. Here goes the 07. Brand new team, and they will go to the race. No, they won't. Sorry. Zach Fitzwater will lead this lap. 10 laps of racing to go. Again, the battle is on for points right now, because that can make the difference in race number 6 of whether you are racing your way in like a lot of these guys at the back are, or whether you are locked in. Here goes Rattray once again. And Nate Rattray will take the race lead. Here comes the 07 now, Tim Horton once again. He has been running pretty well in this duel thus far. You see there Mitchell Collins at the back of the pack. This is not looking good for Mitchell Collins to advance. Looks much like Scott Upton's first duel. From what I can tell, it looks like the 53 of Sebastian Bennett is currently in that first transfer spot. And from what I can tell, it looks like the 33 is in that second transfer position. Which would mean at the present moment, Dick Clark is in. Of course, still a lot of racing to go. And look at this. This side-by-side battle between Rattray and Fitzwater has been going on for a few laps now. 3 wide. Simon Davis has put 3 wide. Rookie mistake right there. You're not going anywhere in that middle. Of course, keep in mind Joey Trickle, Daniel Gitterow, they are in this duel. Last season, they both raced their way in to the 501 race contract rides into the duel. So they are looking to make their second Jello Cup Series starts. And so far, not looking the best for either of them. As you see, still side by side at the line, Rattray had the advantage. Mitchell Collins is going to need a lot of help back there. The 53 in that transfer spots. The 33 is in the second one, but it would go to Dick Clark as the final transfer. And they move the 1 up. Here comes the 34, Keith Stevens. As saw Zach Fitzwater led that lap. 5 laps of racing to go. And the more these guys are pushed to the sucker hole, the more it's helping these go-or-go-homers at the back of the pack. And the more it's helping Nate Rattray and Zach Fitzwater. Because those two have been battling side by side for the last handful of laps. Four to go this time at the line. Nate Rattray with the advantage that lap. Keep in mind there are no bonus points for leading laps, but there are bonus points for finishing in the top 10, which is what Mitzi Kayumi and Daniel Gitterow are trying to race towards. Before ultimately they're going to have to battle it out for the final transfer position. Here comes Mitchell Collins, 3 laps of racing to go. I just don't know if he has the time. Look at the 53, he's put out wide. The 33, Daniel Gitterow, is currently in that transfer spot. Now here's where things get interesting, because the 15, Joey Trickle, is right behind him. Keep in mind again, those two advanced last season. Gitterow is back in a one-race contract situation. while Joey Trickle is now a series full-timer. Two laps of racing to go, and the battle is just heating up between the two Australian drivers, Zach Fitzwater and Nate Rattray. Also, two of the Championship 4 drivers last season, so this battle just continues. And now, the 34 will push the 24 ahead for the time being, but here comes the 4 battling back. As of right now, Dick Clark would be the final transfer into the 500. The 33 gets put wide. Here comes the 15 of Joey Trickle, and it looks like he is in position to advance right now. The white flag is out, though, this time. It's going to be one lap of racing to go, presented by Mitchell's Memes. Meme Man is in trouble. Look at this, 3 wide for the lead. Here comes Keith Stevens in the number 34. He said, I've had enough of you two battling. Now it's my turn. And he will go to the race lead. Keith Stevens through 3 and 4 this time. Here comes the 47. Tim Randolph, a former Daytona winner. Out of turn 4. He's not going to get challenged. Keith Stevens takes it away from Zach Fitzwater and Nate Rattray. He wins duel number 2 at Daytona. And Joey Trickle has advanced into the Daytona 500. The second transfer went to Daniel Gittero, but Gittero will fail to qualify because Dick Clark will race in the 500. So Dick Clark is in, and we have a blown up car at the back there. That is Mohammed Zain Abdullah. He will have to start at the rear for the 500. Alright, let's take a look at your results. Keith Stevens, Nate Rattray, Tim Randolph, Joey Trickle, Zach Fitzwater, your top 5. Then you got Dylan Ibrahimian, Roberto Crown Jr., Daniel Gittero, Tim Horton, Mitchell Collins. That's your top 10. Mitchell Collins, Sebastian Bennett, Mitzi Kayumi all fail to advance to the 500. That is a tough break. Brian James, he's going to start at the back for the 500. Unfortunate for him. We want to thank you for watching, and we will see you back here on Sunday, or actually hopefully tomorrow over on Facebook Watch for final practice, but otherwise we will see you here Sunday for the Daytona 500, guys. Until then, goodbye everyone.